What up, SNA Assassinator? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another podcast video, and this is the Monday Night Football review video, which is the New Orleans Saints get the Green Bay Packers, and yeah, it was Spencer Rattler taking on Jordan Love. Yeah, Derek Carr was still injured, and they needed to find somebody that could substitute for him for tonight, and they found their guy, but unfortunately, he was not like somewhere similar to the former Raiders quarterback, because yeah, like if anything, it was a downgrade, for ever since they brought him as the quarterback in this position. But yeah. But it was still a really good game, even though it was kind of a blowout. If you haven't obviously see what I'm wearing, of course. But yeah, I knew this was going to happen. And if you asked me, told me that if it was going to be in this manner, I'd probably say maybe, I think it could happen in 0.75%. But I did not really actually expected them just not let them in nowhere in the goal line whatsoever. But also, unfortunately, I won't be making a raw review video tonight, given it that it was already pre-taped, and plus, I'm giving it the holiday off. Some might say, how come you're doing a Monday Night Football review? That's because it was live, and I believe everybody in America was watching that anyways. And, I'm not trying to follow the world, but I'm saying, it's going to be a common thing to do around the holidays, and also, I wanted to still give y'all something like a podcast to do, for anything, even though it's not nothing wrestling, but for those football fans, y'all can enjoy this game, especially if you're the team that won. I'm wearing their colors right now. If you're rooting for them, if you know what I mean, wing, wing, nudge, nudge. But without any further delay, let's get started with Green Bay getting the ball with Jordan Love, getting snapped, passing it to the Reed, yeah, fake pass to the running back, throw it to Reed, right onto the left side. This was, I think he got a gain of 6 or 7, making it the second and no, it was 5 yards. Is where he tried to go passing it to Jacobs, but it's where he gets knocked down. Thanks a lot to Mr. Cam Jordan. He made him off the yard, but it's where we got Jordan Love and snapped the next half. But it's where there's a flag on the play when they try to go for a throw of some way. That's where we got it was a neutral zone infraction penalty, which it was on to Cameron Jordan, right after he just got that pretty impressive tackle to Josh Jacobs. That's where they got pushed exactly right underneath the line of scrimmage at 3rd and 1 because of that 5-yard penalty. They end up getting it, which that was a huge mistake from the defensive tackle of Mr. Jordan, but this is where we got him passing to Josh Jacobs, which he managed to get the first down, and I believe he got an extra 3 yards. It's 3 yards. You got an extra 2 yards. Yeah, you got 3, but you got an extra 2 under his troubles of getting the 1 yard to get a first down. But it's where they moved on to the next play, which they were right at the 59-yard line, and almost past enemy territory. Passed to Josh Jacobs. He passed the enemy territory, but still didn't got a first down. He only got he got right at the 40, I'll say 4-yard line at 2nd and 3, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, which was a gain of 7, of course. But yeah, this is where we got. Let's see, a gain of 7. This is where it was. Yeah, 2nd and 3. This is where right at the Saints' 44-yard line is where we got what's the name? Jordan Love throwing it to Josh Jacobs trying to go for a run. That's where he juked one with the defensive men, and if it wasn't for 2 defenders that was close to him, he probably would have ran it all the way to the end zone. But he got a first down, which he was right at exactly the 33-yard line, which that was probably like a 33-yard line, so that was probably a gain of 11. He got 10 yards and more, got an extra yard on the play. Here you go, Birdie Bird. You're welcome. But it's where then they move on to the next play. I'm so sorry that happened to you, Birdie Bird. But yeah, this is where he throws right on to his tight end to the right side. It was It was Kraft. That's what his last name is. Number 86, which he got a first down, which it was right at the 21, if I'm mistaken, which is getting the 12. Oh, those are what's going? Those are tag stickers for the presents, for the Christmas presents.
Can I have it?
You can have. I'll give you one.
No, I want four.
Why do you want 4 4?
No, I want five.
Trey,
I want five.
here. Let me give you this one.
And I want
Here you go. Have these stickers right here. And you can gladly give if mama and daddy have some presents they want to put send the gift person to. They're more welcome to take one or
maybe
couple.
grandma and me
Maybe, yeah.
and mommy.
Anyways, let's move. But anyways, assassinators. Let's move on. And so we got Josh Jacobs caught the ball. He was right at the 21. Is where he ran it in for almost a touchdown, but he was right inside the 5. Got a gain of I'll say about how much? Like 16 yards. Like a first down and over a half. Yeah. But it's where they were right at the 5, or was it at the or no, they were at the 2. I think 2 at the 2 yard line. That's where he dodged Tyron Matthews. Like, gee, that name sounds certainly familiar, and yeah, it does because he's a former corner or safety from the Chiefs, the best team in the United States. But this is where in the NFL, not to mention. But this is where we got what's his name, Jordan Love passing it to Josh Jacobs, which I believe he got a touchdown, if I'm mistaken. No, he was down. Only got 1 yard. That's the only thing he gotten, like because it was right underneath it. That's where he tried to pass it to Wick, but this is where he ends up getting surrounded and clobbered with the poor receiver. But that's where then they try to go one more time, like for a touchdown. Is where he ends up giving it to Witz. It was to what's his name? Yeah, as a matter of fact, it was to the Tavion Witz, the Tavion Witz, which they got 7 points, which is 7-0 at this point. But let's move on. This is where they kick it to the Saints. And what's the point of me talking about the Saints' drive? Which I'm just gonna try to be like when next time Green Bay got the ball in the next drive, which we all know what's gonna be happening, but. And if you don't know, then you're only going to be guessing what I'm about to say after this drive for the Saints. For the first drive of the game is what it was. That's where we got the backup quarterback was in. It was because Derek Carr still had a hand injury that was going to keep him out for a little while. It's where we got everybody lined up. Is where they had a totally different running back because Alvin Kamara wasn't out there because I believe he was injured. It was Jamal Williams that got the ball, which he only got like a gain of 3, yeah, which was 3rd and 7. This is where we got what's the name? Spencer Rattler to try to pass it to Kevin Austin right into the left side. Is where he ends up dropping the ball at the last second. Is where I was like his last name sounds saintly awesome. Like if I'm saying it very correctly, but this is where we got. This is where it was 4th and 7. They had no choice but to kick a what they call a punt. This is where we got the Saints got the ball, but this is where there was some penalty onto the receiving team. Not receiving, kicking team. It was a false start. It was a false start penalty. It's where like they ended up getting pushed back like about 5 more yards, making it 4th and 12. Like from it being 4th and 7, this is where we got. I'm kicking it right back to the guy on Green Bay. This is where it was a holding penalty. This is where then pushed him back like 10 yards. This is where then we got. What happened next? Like for the Green Bay Packers, and what else happened? I'm trying to think. At 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 3rd and 6. This is where the Green Bay Packers. This is where it was a false start penalty, which the referees pointed out. But it's where, this is where it was actually a neutral zone infraction penalty from the defense because Green Bay pointed them out because they jumped before they pushed back. That's where it was number 92. Yeah, Mister what's his name? Passing Passing, yeah, passing on the defensive tackle is where that's where we got Green Bay to try to go for a run. That's where it looked like they got enough for a first down with the quarterback sneak of Jordan Love. That's where then we got them moving on like with where Jordan have all the receivers lined up in both his left and right side far out. Is where we got Jordan Love then throwing to his intended receiver, which was Josh Jacobs, which he got a first down and even more for. It was like a how many yard reception? He picked up like what Josh Jacobs got. Well, it was like 14, 15. I'm trying to think exactly what it was. It was yeah. That's what it was like. I believe it was like a 14, 15, maybe 16 yards with him gaining an extra 6, 4, or even 5 yards where he passed it to Jacobs again, which he only got a gain of 3. But this is where they start. They go to the next play on the 31-yard line. This is where we got Josh Jacobs like 153, 152, 156, 160, 160. Hiking is where they throw to the Wentz, but this is where Devontae Taylor stopped him, knocking him down, making him go crash right in the turf for an incomplete. This is where we got. Let's see. This is where we got. What's his name? This is where we got. What's his name? It was what's his name? Jordan Love threw it to Romeo Dobbs right in the middle. And it's where it gets like a gain of I'll say how much on the reception before the defense brought him down and lambs him. It was like right at the it was like the 31, and this is where it caught the ball like right at the I'll say 31 to at the 46. So I'll say like a 15-yard reception with an extra 5 yards out of the first down they needed. That's where we got Jordan Love fake passing to one of his receivers who was trying to throw it to somebody. That's where it was incomplete when him throwing on the way into the left. Like, I'm not sure if that was a good idea because it probably would have been better if he threw it to his receiver. But none of that matters because he made it up for the next play. Like, when they fake pass to Josh Jacobs is where he ended up trying to throw it to Jacobs anyways. But even though he didn't get a first down exactly, but he gained some yards. Even though Jordan Love was under pressure by the defensive lineman, this is where we got the back defensive end pushes Jacobs back rather than going more further, for only 5 or 6 yards. Well, no, 8 yards actually. This is where it was 3rd and 2. This is where it's 113, 114. I said, this is where, but it's where it was off, but. That's where the offensive timeout from the Green Bay Packers because there's something that the coach probably did not like to see that needs to be fixed. This is where it ends up being fixed and corrected, and this is where he got back in the field, which was probably for the best and probably for good. But this is where we got. But yeah, let's see. Try to pass to Jacobs yet again, even though they got a first down with a couple of yards, they managed to get in. It's where then, but this time he only got a gain of 3 on the first down snap. This is where then it was 2nd and 27. Up next is where we got. Let's see. You got what's his name? Jordan Love going over a throw, but he ends up throwing it to Crab, but this is where it went way to the left, which was an incomplete at 3rd and 7. This is where they try to go yet again, because who knows, this, they could be a game changer here if they can get in, which let's say that was quite the case. Here's where then this is where we got what's the name? Jordan Love. On 117, I said Hiking is where he throws it uh the to what who is it? It was Dobbs, but it was the short of a first down from the wide receiver. It's where they ended up going anyway because only it's 2 yards. It's where he threw it to Kraft. That's where he ran it until he got right at I said the 13, if I'm mistaken. Yeah. It's where it was, yeah. I believe it was like a 20-yard run, I believe. We got there like around the 35, but yeah, this is where then we got this is where then Jordan Love then have all his receivers lined up yet again. This is where then it was like 115, 119. I said hiking is where he passed it to uh the Jacobs. This is where he tried to go for a run, which Jacobs nearly got a touchdown, but he only got the ball at the 1 yard line. This is where his first and goal. This is where Josh. This is where we got. But this is where we got what's the name? Jordan Love ends up passing it to Jacobs for a touchdown. Touchdown, Green Bay. This is where they got an extra touchdown, an extra 7 points that they needed, which was 14-0. And I'm like, wow, like I think they're definitely going to be like winning, like even if New Orleans do score anything. But well, I'm gonna get into that in just a moment. But yeah, let's move on. Let's talk about what happened next with the Green Bay kicking it right back to New Orleans. But still, nothing great happened for the team that's from the South. Well, I totally forgot at the end of the first quarter. This is where we got the score the final score of 7-0, with Green Bay only being the team that scored a touchdown like in the whole quarter, out of the whole quarter. Let me rephrase that. But now this is where we got the New Orleans Saints to try to bounce right back and try to get back into that lead, but unfortunately, not really not really their game, I guess you could say. But this is where they got things started, like with them going for a snap, passing it uh, to to to, to Miller. Yeah, but it's where I tried to pass it to his running back Miller next, but he ends up getting clobbered by uh, Cooper. Yeah, Cooper, the linebacker. That's a reigning defending NFC champion. But it's where then we got. This is where we got what's his name? Uh, Here's where we got what's his name? What's his name? Spencer Rattler, like trying to go for snap. But here's where the left tackle like for a false start because he stepped right back. This is where the referee confirmed it by pointing it out. This is where then this is where he thought it was 74, but he's like, excuse me, 75. He's like so it's a 5-yard penalty and second down, which it was second and 18 at this time. This is where, but yeah, this is where we got what's his name? Who was it? Oh yeah, it was Spencer Rattler. Only got a gain of like 2 yards. This is where he got his receivers lined up, except for his running back Miller. This is where he snapped the ball. This is where you gotta see the variety that you need to throw to. This is where it was Jordan Mills that they got the ball. This is where he only got a gain of 6, however. This is where it was 4th and 10. They had no choice but to kick it because they were still at their yard line. This is where they end up kicking it right back to what had no choice but to kick it right back to Green Bay. And yeah, Green Bay did not stop where they were. Like they just kept scoring. But let's get into that right here. But let's get into this where they end up they end up getting first and goal. Like this is where we got when the play with what's his name, Jordan Love, passing it to what's his name, Washington Watson, yeah, to his wide receiver to the left side. This is where he nearly got a touchdown, but he ends up getting stopped right at the 1 yard line. This is where it was first and goal penalty. This is where the powerful force in all of football then came on, which was the commercial break. This is where then we got once the advert came off. That's where then we got got back into the game. That's where he ended up seeing what happens next. Anyway, it was a and it was the running back Chris Brooks that ran it in. That was in the running back position for Jordan Love, and then passing it in. He went right in the middle. He got a touchdown, making it 21-0. And I'm like, yeah, even if they did try to come up with a few. No, Trey, you can't be wasting them.
No, the other ones.
No. I'm sorry, but you can't be wasting them. Like Uncle SNA needs. Oh, Potter. Have you ever had these days? No, stop. No. Stop playing like that. Okay, anyways, without being interrupted, let's move on. They got a touchdown, making it 21-0 now. This is where they end up kicking it to the Saints, but still no luck. Like, if anything, it was worse than ever. Ah! Sorry about that, assassinators. But let's get into it. Like, this is where they keep trying to go for passes, but they end up they got incomplete, I believe, the first, but this is where they try to run it to their second string running back, but this is where they get stopped. This is where we got Rattler, then try to pass it to who was it? It was to Miller. This is where go get a first down. But that's probably like the highlight of this drive, like because that's the only thing they can get like thus far of the play. This is where he passed it to back to Miller, but he barely got a first, got a 1 yard, but with the Green Bay defense bringing him down. That's where it was like. That's where then they showed like Adrian Cooper going for stuff. That's where we. That's where it gets. That's where we got what's his name Jordan Love. I mean not Jordan Love. What's his name? What's his name? I believe this is where we got. We saw that. What's his name? Who was it? It was what's the quarterback's name on the New Orleans Saints? Stop! That's it. Anyways, assassinators. This is where we got. This is where we got. What's the name? Spencer Rattler. This is where he gets sacked by the Green Bay defense. This is where he caused the fumble. This is where Keyshawn Mixon then recovered the ball, like and forced that fumble to Rattler. This is where they ended up getting the ball. This is where they yet again, I believe, scored again. Let's move on. Let's That's where we got New Orleans. This is where we got Green Bay to try to go for their run, but this is where it ended up not really being not really doing good. This is where they ended up had to kick right back to the Saints. This is where the Saints then I go for a run, but this is where they only got to like 9 yards on their drive, on their latest drive onto this time. This is where it was 2nd and 1, and now it was 3rd and 1 because his running back didn't win nowhere. This is where we got who was it? It was I keep forgetting his name. Spencer Rattler tried to throw it to his running back Miller, if I'm mistaken. This is where it only got 1 yard. This is where there's a flag on the play, however. This is where then I know the referee explained what's the put. It was a roughing the passer penalty, like which was on the defense on number 57, most specifically on the linebacker, which was none other than Brenton Cox, if I'm mistaken. Yeah, of roughing up. What's his name? Of roughing up. What's his name? Spencer Rattler. Is where then we got. That's where they got the first down. Is where the. That's where the. That's where they end up like try to go for the next play. That's where hey snap. That's where then we got Spencer Rattler going for a snap. This is where then he try to go. What happened? It was he took the ball and they try to go for a throw right on to who it was like to one and then to Juan Johnson that tried to go cover right in the back. He ended up going right through his hands too, making it 2nd and 10. This is where then we got this is where we got what's his name? What is Spencer Rattler snapped the ball. That's where he nearly gets sacked, but ends up trying to go for a run. That's where he runs it, but it's where he ends up getting stopped by the Green Bay defense. Like even though he only got 3 yards, making it 3rd and 7. That's where we got New Orleans. Then roughly got any yards. This is where they get caught. This is where the coach of New Orleans called for a timeout real quick. We'll go to the next next snap. But this is where we got. But this is where we got what's his name? This is where we got what's his name? Rattler, yeah. Spencer Rattler got a receiver wide open in the left side. That's where well, what's that? Kevin Austin is where he gets tackled by the safety on the Green Bay Packers. Is where they nearly made a fumble, but luckily the ball went out of bounds, so it stayed as the first down. Is where they end up go. That's why we got New Orleans. They call a timeout because like half of the seconds, remaining seconds were going. Like it is where the coach is like, all right, well we need to call timeout. This is where they. That's where we got what the coach was getting very frustrated at it. Like it's where he's like, what ain't it supposed like clock supposed to stop like when it's at the end of the second quarter and fourth quarter? This is where the referee's like, yes, like so like it doesn't matter like if it's a fumble like and it went out of bounds like as long as it's like the offense if it's still the offense's ball like the clock should stop. I mean even if it was a turnover it still should stop regardless. But that's where we got what's his name Spencer. That's where but that's where what's his name Spencer Rattler tried to go for a throw, but he ends up getting wrapped around and get thrown down by the defense onto Green Bay. That's where that's where you can see Rizzy like on the sideline was very ticked off. That's where he's done putting his timeout hands up. That's where it's like timeout. Like, don't you know what that means? This where I was like, yeah, like y'all supposed to be referees, but you're supposed to be like they're supposed to let him get a timeout. This is where they finally did. But once Spencer Rattler and the rest of the Saints came out trying to go for a snap, is where we got the coach on the Green Bay iced the quarterback, and he literally did because once he tried to go for a Hail Mary, is where it ends up getting, he gets one incomplete pass earlier, but once you try to go for the 5 seconds they have left, is where we got intercepted by Green Bay's corners. Xavier McKinney, I believe that's what his name is. Yeah, which he got the ball number 29, caught it, but it's where it was halftime for like at least 20 minutes. This is where this was the shortest halftime in NFL history, I guess, especially in the season of 2020, of the season of 2024. Yeah, but which they roughly like only got like about only got to talk about any everything and anything from uh from the Washington Commanders against the Philadelphia Eagles, and then and what's their name? Buffalo Bills beating the New England Patriots, and then we got and uh the the what's their names? The Detroit Lions beating the Chicago Bears, and the Chiefs beating the Houston Texans, and the Los Angeles Rams the beating the what they call the New York Jets. This is kind of like the NFC North rivalry with when Aaron Rodgers used to play for the Green Bay Packers and Matthew Stafford played for the Detroit Lions, which it repeated itself, but this time in different teams, like separately now. With the former Detroit Lions quarterback is now on Jared Goff's team of the Rams, while what's his name, Aaron Rodgers is on the Jets. This really showed like we got the Rams squashing the New York Jets in their home field, and but yeah, now the now the Buffalo Bills are 12-3, and I'm like, like hopefully the Chiefs can win their next two games, even if they lose one of them, like it probably still don't matter, but at the same time, hopefully they win, making it 16-1 and break an all-time record for not only in the Chiefs overall, but also as in the overall of in the new era of NFL for the last 5 years. Here's where they show the Atlanta Falcons. That's where the Atlanta Falcons beat the New York Giants. Is where we got the Los Angeles. That's where we got Miami Dolphins beating what they call the San Francisco 49ers. Is where they saw the Carolina Panthers beating the Arizona Cardinals. That's where we got the Tennessee Titans taking on what's their names? What's that other team that it was the Tennessee Titans against the Colts? That's where they showed that I believe the Colts beat them. Yeah, they stay alive like beating them 38-30 against the what they call Tennessee Titans. With them still have a chance at 7-8. Like as long as anybody in the wild card don't get past like 10 wins, or else they'll be out of the play, even if they are 9-8. But let's move on and get to the back to the game. Like after they highlight those games, and what were your thoughts on those Sunday and even Saturday evening games like so far? And which one was your favorite? Oh yeah, and they also talked about the Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys as well. And then this is my first time, like I said, going by yesterday. This is my first time doing a 3 straight day football review video in a row. With starting with the Houston Texans against the Chiefs, and then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Chiefs versus the Texans at Saturday, and then Sunday it was the Buccaneers against the Dallas Cowboys, which that was a shocker. And tonight on Monday, we're talking about the Green Bay Packers against the New Orleans Saints. But that's where we got the New Orleans Saints got the ball kicked in because it's only fair because given that the first team that got the ball won the coin toss was Green Bay. This is where we got. What's his name? Spencer Rattler passing it to his running back. It was Miller. Yeah, it was Miller that got a gain of a couple. This is where we got a backstage interview. Well, I mean, not backstage, on-field interview from one of the female journalistic reporters, like saying about like they noticed the frustration. Is where the coach like, yeah, but we need to find a way to get back on track, and unfortunately, I hate to break it to them, like that did not end up happening. But let's move on. Let's get into excuse me. That's where they got Miller and ran it for a first down, or maybe like a couple inches short of a first down, like a second down is where it was 3rd down and 2. That's where we got Spencer Rattler to try to go for a lining spread out touchdown, Oh, not touchdown. I mean, a first down is where he goes for a backfield, try to throw it to his receiver. This is where it was to his tight. It was Pettis, like the receiver's the target, but it ends up dropping the ball or not or going past him. That's where they had no choice but to punt the ball because like if they risk trying to go for it and they don't get it, then that's where and they're gonna like the New Orleans, I mean the Green Bay Packers are gonna be landed right into their 40-yard line, which they don't need that. But let's get into like after as soon as they get the ball right at the 15-yard line is where then they and when they start right there, this is where we got this is where then we got a 9-yard run, like with Green Bay, like with was it Josh Jacobs, if I'm mistaken, that got the 9 yards? Yeah. But that's where then we got that's where they end up like where like just 1 yard is where they made a huge blunder because you can point it out. Like with Green Bay, like accidentally putting first down, 1st and 10, even though like they're just a yard away from a first down, they were 2nd and 1. Like they're nowhere even near like at a first down yet. Like and they just need just a yard to be on the first down mark. But no, like it seemed like Green Bay knew this and they put it earlier down, like which I think that was a huge continuity error. That's where they end up getting the first down, but still, like that's very odd that they just put it 1st and 10, like right when they were right at 10-1. This is where Josh Jacobs got the first down, but this is where we got. It's where we got what's his name Brooks. Like they got a run. This is where you only got like a gain of 8, maybe 7, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was 7 yards. That's where then we got. That's where then we got Brooks. Then end up. This is where Demario Davis, the linebacker, barely stopped him. Like, but he still got the first down anyways while crossing the line of scrimmage. It's where then. Oh yeah, at the end of the first, I mean the second quarter of the first half, it was 21-0 at halftime. With the Green Bay Packers scoring 2 more touchdowns, making it 14-0. With the Saints still not scoring no points, but this is where we got. That's where we got. What was it? It was. That's where we got. What was it? It was. And Jordan Love tried to throw it to his receiver, number 80. I totally forget what his name is. He was in motion, but he dropped the ball. But that would have been the perfect first down if he didn't do so. This is where we got Jordan Love and try to go for a foolproof plan that's not going to be failed, regardless, no matter what happens. This is where we got. That's where we got number 11 was in motion. Is where he tried to throw it to who was it? It was Wilson, yeah. But that's where he only got a gain of, I'll say, about 4. Like when he got the ball caught to him, is where we got. That's where it was 3rd and 6 with the only got a gain of 4. That's where we got snapping the ball. That's where he tried to throw it to Reed, number 11. But that's where it ended up being an incomplete pass. That's where it was like 4th and 6 is where they end up going for a field goal kick, like for 55 yards. They end up getting it like with 24-0. This is where it was. Yeah, it was now 24-0, like with them leading by 3 touchdowns in the field goal. They ended up kicking right back to Saints, but yet again, somebody better call Britney Spears for the 5th time in a row because they just keep doing it again. But yeah, this is where we got this is where we got a gain of 6. This is where that's where Miller tried to go for a run, but he ends up getting squashed by the Packers defense. I believe he lost 2 yards, making it 3rd and 6, or I could be wrong. It could be he didn't win nowhere. It was 3rd and 4 actually. This is where we got the running back in motion. This is where we got Spencer Rattler just went up running to the middle, like if he's pulling like a Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. This is where this ends up being pushed back, I guess you could say. Like, but illegal use to, or no, I'm wrong because it was a defensive penalty, like with the illegal hands to the face by the defense. This penalty was declined for a first down. This is where do we got? This is where they got. But that's where they got. This is where they tried to throw it to the running back, but this is where you only got stopped right underneath the line of scrimmage at like making it 2nd and 12, lost 2 yards. This is where Jawan Johnson got a strong catch for a first down. This is where the Saints are finally started getting into trying to gain yards. This is where they pass enemy territory. I mean, they already have. But yeah, this is where they were getting more better than the last time. But still, like, despite this is where they still cannot escape the very bad curses when they got sacked. When the Saints got sacked by the Green Bay defense yet again. When they lost to 7. And it was the Mr. Cox, like that sacked him. This is where it was a loss of 7, 2nd and 17 is where we got. This is where Miller was in motion. This is where he passed it to. This is where Jordan Mibbs to try to go for a run, but nothing there. This is where it was 3rd and 17. This is where they try to go for it at 3rd down. Not so much like this is where. Well, actually, it was like I could be mistaken. It was on Pete on Pettis. Pettis, yeah, I think that's what his name is. Pettis that caught the ball at that first down, like right at the 21. Is where he fake passed the Miller. Ended up doing to his intended receiver, but that's where it ended up getting picked off by Green Bay by the corner. Zane Anderson, that's what his name is. Zane Anderson that blocked him. That covered the wide receiver. What's his name? Peters. Guy catch the ball, but ended up getting picked off right in front of his eye. But that's where I got Jordan Love and did a fake pass. While who was it? I was number 11 again. Who was it? I totally forget. It was he went for emotion. This is where we got not Jordan Love try to go for a throw, but it's where we got Sanders, number 50, and I believe I talked about this guy before on my podcast, and yeah, it was because I was talking about my boys, them Chiefs, when Patrick Mahomes tried to throw it to one of his receivers. I believe it was to Kelsey, but it's where this linebacker, Mr. What's his name? I just said like Sanders caught the ball and ran it like if it was Bubble Bass from SpongeBob. That's the one. Like he tried to do a pickoff like he did the last time they were in the Monday Night Football primetime game, and it was against my boys, the back-to-back Super Bowl Chiefs. But yeah, this is where he had his hand. But this is where he tried to do it again, but unfortunately he couldn't be like Britney Spears this time because he dropped the ball. Like you messed it up this time. This is where that was an easy interception, but this is where he dropped the ball. Like that's where the commentators point that out as well. Like we're saying, like the last time they were in the Monday Night Football game was 2 months ago. Like we thought he was running like a running back, and that was a reference to their game against the Chiefs, which I did talk about that on my podcast about a couple of months ago. Make sure you assassinators take take a look at that. But it's where. But that's where we got Saunders was very frustrated. This is where it was like less than a minute left. Like this is where he got put in the sideline because he ran out of breath because he only got a limited amount. I can see why. Not trying to insult him, but just saying. But that's where we got. What's his name? That's where we got what's his name? Jordan Love and passed it to his running back. It was to Wilson, which he only got a gain of. That's where, after him, that's where we got the first down. That's where he let the clock run until it was at the end of the third quarter. And in the end of the third quarter, it was 24-0, making it gaining an extra 3 yards. Yeah, I mean 3 points. 3 points of a field goal up on the board for it was 3-0 for the third quarter, but overall, yeah, 24-0 at the end of the third quarter by the time. But moving on, we got to the beginning of the fourth quarter. This is where we definitely saw some more action from the Packers, even though they were already in the lead. But yeah, this is where we got. That's where they got a gain of a couple. Try to get a couple yards with Jacob. He only got that much. But try to go for a receiving yard. This ends up being an incomplete. This is where I did right at the 49-yard line, right in the. This is where Brooks did try to go for a couple of yards, but he only got like a gain of I'll say maybe 3. Yeah, a gain of 3 at 4th and 5. I believe this is where they try to go for a field goal. Was it? Or no, they tried to go for it. Yeah, they were right at they were at the 46-yard line. Yeah, 46 or maybe 47. I think they were right at the 47. Yeah, but this is where there was a penalty. This is where it was a delay of game. This is where I believe they had to kick it, and then we went right back to 4th and 10. They had to punt it, if I'm mistaken. Yeah, and then it ended up going right back to the Saints. But yeah, like the last plenty of times, like half a dozen times, it was nothing successful onto this drive. But that's where there was I believe there's a roughing a kicker penalty on the. Oh no, it wasn't roughing the kicker. It was like. But yeah, that's where it was a offensive penalty by Green Bay. This is where you got pushed back like 15 more yards, making it 4th and 25. They try to go for a kick again. This is where they were successful this time. This is where it was a little bit over 13 minutes left. This is where this is where the but that's where then they showed like very pretty lights, like outside of Lambeau Field, like in a little light, a Christmas light park in Green Bay. But let's move on. Let's continue. Talk about what happened next with the New Orleans Saints with them try their luck even if they don't come back. But when they try to go for a pass, it ends up being an incomplete pass. That's where it ended up. But that's where they got a good tackle when they try to pass. Who was it? It was it was a intended receiver to men to men's. This is where then you only got a gain of I'll say 2 yards, making it 3rd and 8. This is where then we got this is where we got what's the name? What's the name? What's Rattler? Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler. But okay, I'm coming. Excuse me for a moment. Okay. Yes. Potter. Yes, I will do that, Birdie Bird. Anyways, as what I was saying, that's where it ended up being like an incomplete pass, like on the next play, basically. Like with him, with Spencer Rattler nearly getting sacked under pressure, as well as 4th and 8, they had to go punt it. And where we got Reed got the ball right at like the 14-yard line. Is where we got Green Bay, and then trying to go for a run. This is where he tried to pass it to Wilson to try to go for a run, but he ended up getting buried by the New Orleans defense. Lost the game, lost about 2 yards. Where he tried to pass it to, who was it? It was Kraft, or no? Oh, yeah, it was Kraft. This is where he tried to catch the ball, but he ends up dropping it. It was third and 12. This is where he passed it to Reed, which he got the first down, like a pickup of about a 37-yard reception. Yeah, wow, like almost 4 first downs in one, like a 4-for-1 deal. But it was like probably like I'd say like only like three over a half, like for one, I guess. That's where Tyron Matthews stopped him, and I wonder where he used to play for. Yeah, if I haven't already guessed, which I think I did. Yeah. That's where I was like thinking, like I bet he wished he still was on the other team that he won the Super Bowl with, which was back in 2019-2020 season. But it's where then we got That's where then we got Jordan Love was high up in the numbers, like in his football calling, like higher than any player, like in the NFL season lately. And he was like 319. I said 320. Hiking is where he passed it to like the Brooks. This is where he got gained to 3 at 2nd and 7. This is where then we got. And then we got Jordan Love to go for a snap yet again, throws it to the right side. This is where he throws it to Wicks. This is where he got the first down. This is where they're right at the 34-yard line. Is where Brooks tried to get, but ended up getting stopped by Sanders. That just shoulder tackle him with him being more unprofessional than ever, which I'm starting to hate this guy. But yeah, this is where it was 2nd and 7. This is where they gained like a couple more yards, making it 3rd and 4. A 3-yard run is where we got. What happened next? It was that Jordan Love did is where we got 333, 334. I said like 319. Hiking is where they go for 12. He ended up passing it to. This is where I tried to go to Dontavius Woods, but this is where it was incomplete at 4th and 4. That's where they ended up going for a field goal, which it was 27-0. Like it was now a 27-point game. Like with them winning by 3 touchdowns and 2 field goals. That's not all because I haven't seen nothing yet. This is where we saw like what happened next. Like it's where like once the Saints got the ball, it's where. And they were not. There was nothing good. Like with them, only got a gain of 3. This is where then, like, and it was 3rd and 7. This is where we got Spencer Rattler to try to go for his intended receiver on the right side, but it ends up getting blocked. This is where he gets pushed down. This is where he it was 4th and 7. This is where he ends up trying to go for it, no matter like what side of the field, even if they are on their side, but. I was like, like if you didn't got it before, what makes you think you'll get this time? Like, even if you do have some little bit of confidence and make first downs in very difficult situations, like I wouldn't risk it. But this is where they this is where I try to throw it to Pettis, like as the target intended receiver, but this is where we got 2 corners. We're covering him. This is where they almost intercepted him. This is where they just start right at where the Packers were standing. But this is where we got a flag on the play, but I was wondering, like, who was it? but it was by 96, like on the defense on Green Bay. The ball turned on them, like it's gonna be Bob. Like with Green Bay still keeps the ball despite the unnecessary roughness. Is where, but it's where they get the ball right to them. This is where we saw Green Bay end up like doing it again. Somebody better call Britney Spears, probably for the 10,000th time. But yeah, this is where it's all like it's where it was like it was the backup quarterback. What is it? It was his name. It was Malik Willis. That's his name. Number two, the backup quarterback, Malik Willis. It seemed like he was not really doing good until I saw like at the last minute of the drive. Then he started playing more better. I'm like this is why second streamer is going to stay in the second string position, like which I could which I could be mistaken about this guy, and I'm just underestimating him because this was the only time that he made some snaps on the drive. That's where then we tried to overrun, but he ended up getting stopped by New Orleans defense with him trying to run off the clock and trying to get enough time for the defense. Where he ends up, that's where we got Malik. What's his name? That's where we got Malik. What's his name? Willis, and trying to throw it to what's his name? The Hicks. But that's where it ends up being 4th and 10. That's where they end up going for it because they don't really have nothing to lose. They're beating them by 27 points. That's where then. That's where we got. That's where once that 4th down to 2. That's where the play clock was at 30 minutes and 4 minutes 13 seconds. That's where Green Bay called a timeout before they will get a delay, before they get a delay of game, and also to look to the play that's going to be foolproof, that's going to maintain them in the lead, which it must have worked because where we got Malik Lewis then went for like a half a spiral, threw it right onto Reed, right in the red zone for almost a first and goal, right at I'll say if not already, like at like the 9 or 8 yard line, which I think they actually they were in the 6 yard line, first and goal. This is where he tried to throw to Wilson. Like this is where he never went anywhere, like only just like a gain of I'll say 3 yards, but this is where they passed to Wilson again, but it's where he only got a gain of 1. This is where they were like right at the 2 yard line. This is where he runs it for a touchdown, making it 34-0. And that would pretty much did it. Like that sealed the deal. But before I get into all that, this is where we saw like that New Orleans trying to do their best. This is where they showed like Green Bay and they're just like in 3rd place next to like Minnesota and Detroit right now in the NFC North division. With them for the last few years, they've been keep getting kicked out in the playoffs, no matter who it is that they're playing against. Like in 2020, they lost to. Like they showed in 2019-2020 season, they lost to the San Francisco 49ers, like in the NFC championships, actually, is where the year after that. They lose to Tampa Bay, like at the 2020, the 2021 season, and like they lost to San Francisco yet again in 2021 to 2022 season. But that's where we got incomplete pass by the Saints. Is where we got Spencer Rattler, and went for next play, moving on, 3rd and 10. This is where they fixed the mistake in the field, that it's actually at 3rd and 10. That's where there was that's where Lucas Patrick like has been injured. Like this is where he was down on the ground. This is where all the players on the Saints started kneeling down. Like which nobody don't deserve to get hurt in this caliber. And I hope he's doing okay. And hopefully like he won't suffer no permanent damages. Even though like they're gonna. Even though, like he's probably gonna have to take some time off, and I wish for a quick recovery from this little setback right here. But yeah, this is where they show Green Bay got 2 more games, and if they you beat those two, they can be like 13-4. But if they lose one and they win the other, they get 12-5, or lose both, they'll be like 11-6. Yeah, either way, they're gonna be in the playoffs. My point is, but but that's where they end up trying to go. That's where we got the Saints to try to go for it. Like even though like they. Even if they do score anything, it won't be enough to come back. This is where they end up. This is where there's an incomplete pass to the Kevin Austin, the receiver. This is where he dropped the ball. Is where the Green Bay Packers safeties were celebrating already. This is where they put out what's his name Malik Willis out there, like with the rest of the offense, to kneel the ball down. This is where they let the clock run out until it was over. This is where we got Green Bay. We're now 11-4, while the New Orleans Saints are going 5-10, which sounds very odd to think about. Like these guys used to be the best, like when Drew Brees was still in the football league. Like even took them to a Super Bowl against the Indianapolis Colts back 15 years ago, which I don't know what about them now. Like I don't know. It gets just kind of confusing, but yeah, it's very shocking to see them being in a losing, having losing records rather than winning ones. But yeah, that was the end of the game, which there was a complete blowout. Like Green Bay just completely dominated, much less of their best New Orleans Saints. Which one of the reasons is probably because Derek Carr's not in this quarterback slot, and him out action due to an injury. But that was pretty much the end of today's National Football League game, like with the National Football Leagues, this week's matchup with the Green Bay Packers against the New Orleans Saints live in Lambeau Field on Monday Night Football on December 23rd, 2024. And I hope y'all enjoyed the video. And I'll say, since I was much more of a fan of Green Bay in this game, I would give it 4.5 stars. Like, it was nothing bad because we all knew it was happening, even though it was a bit too predictable. But at the same time, like, it was pretty entertaining, pretty interesting. Like, if see Green Bay could win, which they did not disappoint yet again. Like, they didn't, like when they played off against the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, but we will see like who's gonna be going winning the playoff, the whole thing, to go to the Super Bowl, possibly going to be facing the back-to-back 3 years in a row Super Bowl champs, like in the future, which is the Kansas City Chiefs. And do you think that's going to happen, or somebody else in the AFC do you think is going to win? But either way, let me know about that as well in the comment section right down below. And yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed tonight's football review video, and if so, please make sure to hit the big thumbs up button, consider hit the subscribe, post notification bell for more SNA videos. And yeah, sorry I couldn't make a Monday Night Raw review video. Maybe next week I'll make a season finale review video, like for their last week of being on USA Network. And also, unfortunately, I won't be making an NXT review video, but I can't tell you like what's going to be the matches, like which is going to feature Cora Jade taking on Stephanie McCurr, and I'm wondering if Cora's going to try to join her idol to be a women's wrestler to beat Stephanie like in 2024. But instead of that, instead of an AEW, it'll probably be, but this time it'll be in WWE. But I highly doubt it's going to be Cora at this time. I think Stephanie's going to get the W, and we're going to see like Stephanie going to move on and get her spot at the women's title, either against Cora's best friend Roxanne, like after New Year's Eve, or even her best friend of me, her international wrestling best friend of me, Julia, like for that title, like and it'll be just a year later after they clashed over the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. Yeah, I wonder who's currently holding that championship. But anyways, yeah. But yeah, we're gonna we're gonna get to see that tomorrow, like, and probably a couple other matches. But I'm gonna tell you, like, Monday Night Raw was really good. Like, I'm gonna give if I made a review about it, like maybe it would have probably would have gave I probably would have gave it like 4 stars. But they did show some very interesting elements, like whether if it was the women's Intercontinental Championship triple threat match, which it featured, like, let's say it was the replacement of the Damage Control member of what's her name, Kyrie Sane, which we saw who was the winner, which did have me intrigued, like who exactly going to definitely win this women's Intercontinental Championship match, which I'm gonna talk about more about that this week. And yeah, and like and we saw like the tease of an alliance like against the Judgment Day with Damian Priest and the Viking Raid or the War Raiders. Oh, sorry, my bad. But yeah, and we also got like a pretty solid like a 5-minute classic with Chad Gable and Akira Tozawa as well. And we got a very interesting storyline with Drew McIntyre in the new Bloodline, like going at it with Sami Zayn and Jey Uso. But they kind of teased that Drew McIntyre solo could go at it like soon enough. But for now, like he's just worrying about taking care of the old bloodline, then taking care of the new one. And even a friend of mine even said like if this was Vince McMahon, he would be fully trying to team with Solo, like even though he screwed him out of the WWE title like about 2 years ago. But yeah, me and a friend of mine were just talking about like luckily like this is the Triple H era, like to call it that, but still like we still gonna call it that because he's the head booker of WWE right now, and whatever story he's telling, like it makes sense most of the time. And this Drew McIntyre storyline is definitely fitting the bill, but I guess that'll be it for now. But make sure to check out my wrestling news video tomorrow on December 24th, the Christmas Eve edition, like of the wrestling news, where I'll be talking about the wildest and intriguing news stories and rumors that you assassinate need to know from the Fightful Select article, where I'll be talking about what's going on in the world of professional wrestling. And yeah, I hope I'll see you, assassinators, like next time with. Next time, I hope y'all have a safe and fun rest of your Monday, and I'll see you all in the next video with some more SNA content.